Hey you guys, it's Dana. Welcome back to Decorate with Dana. Today's video is going to be some fall DIYs, mostly repurposing items that I already have, but a couple of pieces were new and I just wanted to change them a little bit to fit my decor style a little bit better. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I have this set of 3 pumpkins from Hobby Lobby. Love these because I like how they're like the fairy tale one, but I really like this one because you can kind of like stack this one behind it. It looks like it's leaning up against it, and like those all 3 together. But what I definitely do not like the color of this one. So I want to paint this one like a deep brown color. I do like this one, and I'm not sure if I like this one. I just want to paint this one first, see what I think of the 3 of them. I do like this because it's not so much of an bright orange color, but maybe I'll add some more deeper brown colors in there. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one yet. This one will probably stay the same, but this one I definitely want to paint a deep brown color. I have a couple of different colors here from Hobby Lobby. This one is coffee bean, and then this one is called sable brown, and it's just a little bit of a lighter brown. I may mix the 2, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna definitely get this one painted. I'll probably add a little bit of baking soda to it just to give it some texture. This first one, I am starting with the green pumpkin, and I am taking the color coffee bean. I am mixing it with a little bit of baking soda. I thought I wanted a matte finish on this, but then once I was done, you'll see that I end up changing it up a little bit. However, I am happy that I started with this step because I like the texture it gave under the paint that I will be finishing this pumpkin with. So I am just using a paintbrush and covering this pumpkin completely with this color. Once I was done painting this pumpkin, I just set it aside for now, and I pulled out this orange pumpkin. Now, I really like the color of this one because it's not a bright orange at all, but I did want to add a little bit of kind of distressing and a little bit more of an aged look to this pumpkin, like it had been sitting around for a little while. So I am taking that same coffee bean color, again with the baking soda, going through the creases, and then also going around the stem just a little bit where it would naturally start to darken as it sat outside. So as I got going, I felt like it was just starting to look a little too splotchy. So I took the slightest damp paper towel and kind of lightly rubbed over where I had painted just to kind of blend everything in. And I love the way that this was starting to turn out. Then I decided to go in with the color sable brown and also do the same thing. Add a little bit of there just to give some variations of the brown. And then again, using the damp paper towel to kind of blend it in a little bit better. Then going through my decor stash, I realized I had this pumpkin from last year. I also purchased another one this year, but it is just a little bit too orange for me. So I am taking the paint that I already had on the plate, adding a little bit more of that sable brown and a little bit of the coffee bean, mixing them together again with a little bit of baking soda. This time I'm going in with a fan type of brush and coating the whole pumpkin lightly with it, letting some of the orange come through. After both of these pumpkins started to dry, not the orange one that I added a little distressing to, but the other two brown ones, I was not loving, first of all, the matte finish of them at all, because pumpkins naturally have a little bit of a sheen, and I just didn't love the way that they turned out. So I decided to take my Espresso Rust-Oleum spray paint and just give them a good coat of paint. So it was not a mistake though to paint it first with the baking soda mixture, because it added a little bit of texture underneath the spray paint, and I absolutely love the way that they turned out. This just matches my deep moody aesthetic that I'm going for this year's fall decorating. So of course you can paint these pumpkins whatever color you want. I'm just doing a lot of browns and burgundies and deep moody tones, and even some rust orangey red colors, but you can spray paint these any color that you want. So if you purchase pumpkins, I've found some at the thrift store and different places, Walmart, and if you don't love the color, a little spray paint can go a long way, and I highly suggest the baking soda method underneath it because it just gave it a little bit of texture that I love. So I love the way that these pumpkins ended up coming out. I can't wait to style them in my home this fall. But again, you can do this with whatever color you want and what works for your style. But I can't wait. I'm sure I have a few more in my decor stash that I will end up DIYing similar colors as well. I had these two small trees from Hobby Lobby last year, and while I do love the color, they were a little too washed out and neutral for my style this year. So instead of getting rid of them, I decided to give them a little paint. So I'm taking that same espresso color first and lightly going over the leaves. I'm not completely covering them. I'm just kind of giving them a little bit of brown. This is the first step in a two-step process of how I'm going to transform these little trees. So the next day after those dried, I'm taking the color True Burgundy and black acrylic paints. I am mixing them together, and of course Kova had to come and say hi, but I am mixing those two colors together with just a little bit of water, and I'm taking a craft sponge and I'm going to go over every leaf. Now I don't have to completely cover them. That is the point of the brown, because it gives it a nice varying shades from leaf to leaf. Where there is more brown spray paint, it makes them a little darker, a little brown, a little bit more brown, and then where it's a lighter color, it ends up being a little bit more red. So it gives it a little bit more of a realistic look. I'm making sure that I'm doing the front of the leaves and the back of the leaves, and yeah, just going over each and every one. This was a little bit time consuming, but it really didn't take long. I would say maybe 20 minutes each tree, because these are smaller trees, but I do love the way that it just transformed the whole look of them. I'm going to give you here a little side-by-side comparison in a minute before I do the second tree, just so you could see the way it looked before I went ahead and added burgundy color paint. Okay, so the next DIY for fall I wanted to work on, I have showed you previously in another video a different variation of this, but I want to do this really pretty autumn print that I downloaded from Etsy. I'm going to have it linked down below, but there's a bunch of different ones you can choose from, and I'm going to do like a vintage inspired or antique inspired shadow box frame picture. So I have this canvas printer paper. Now I only have this little piece, so I'm going to see if I can make it work. It normally comes in regular 8.5 by 11 size printer size paper, but I already used half of it, so I don't know if this is going to jam up in my printer, but we're going to try it and see. I'm going to size this down and then try to print it on this paper, and then I'll show you the next steps. I did a variation of this DIY. I believe it was in the spring. So at that time, I had purchased 2 of these shadow boxes. They were on sale at Michael's. I want to say they were either buy one, get one 50% off, or buy one, get one free. Either way, I ended up with 2 of them because they were on sale. So I wanted to use this extra one for a fall inspired DIY. So after I printed out on this canvas paper, which I highly recommend, it gives it such an authentic look printing it on this canvas paper. I'm going to have the canvas paper linked down in the description box. I got it on Amazon, and it's one of my new favorite things for downloading prints from Etsy for super inexpensive and then printing them out at home on this canvas paper. But I am just cutting a small border around the picture, and then I'm taking my scissors to add little slits around the entire border of the picture to give it that kind of frayed, aged look. This is time consuming, but it's what really gave that special detail that gave it that kind of antique vintage look. I love the way this shadow box frame came out, and I'm super happy with how all three of these little DIYs came out. It's just a great way to repurpose decor that you already have instead of going out and buying new, or if you find something inexpensive somewhere at like Walmart and you don't love exactly the color, it's easy to change that for relatively cheap and inexpensive. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are new here, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next decorating video. Have a great day.